What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Clearly Distorted podcast where we discuss our clearly thought ideas shared through our distorted lenses. I am Damien. That's Julian. Oh, wait, he's probably over there, or he might be over there. And that's Patricia. I don't know where she is on the screen, but
I'm here.
She's finally back.
Welcome back, Patricia.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. The unit is complete. So what's been going on with everybody? What's new?
I'll let Patricia start because we haven't heard from you in a while.
I've been good.
Just life's been happening.
I'm here, there, everywhere. I've been following the podcast, and it was a shit show while I wasn't here.
Yeah, a little out of order. But hopefully we can get back on track. Episode 19, by the way. Hey,
yes.
If you're watching and you're not subscribed, click pause, back out, hit subscribe, hit the bell, set your notifications, come back in. We'll be right here waiting for you. Do it now.
We'll be waiting right here. The whole time we'll be waiting.
We cannot carry on until
episode 19. I can't believe it. I think next episode I might do a cartwheel on camera. I don't
know. That sounds like fun.
Episode 20.
That sounds like it should happen.
Yeah, I really think it should happen.
Wait. Do you guys think I can't do a cartwheel or something, or what?
Whoa, you took that somewhere.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are like, oh yeah, that should have like that's gonna be some kind of big deal or something.
I mean, I can't do a cartwheel right now. Like, I could do a cartwheel, but it's not gonna look like a cartwheel.
Daym,
I'll finish with a round off. I mean, what you want?
Daym, I'll tell you what. I don't think you can do a cartwheel.
You want to put something on it?
No.
So you're not that secure in your thoughts.
No, just the way you put that didn't sound good to me. So,
sounded very insinuating.
Like, do you want to put something on that? Speaking of which,
I didn't say that, and I was talking about.
Check it out, Hug Dealer. Now the green screen.
Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I'm saying.
Stop, bro. Just stop.
Just put your money there.
The green screen is kind of messing up the colors here, but I am the Hug Dealer.
All right.
So, Patricia, so how's the priest?
What priest?
The one that got rid of that demon that possessed you. Look at your eye. What the hell?
Yo, I was lost. I was like,
I was too.
She's looking like a demon. Go like this.
No.
No?
I'm an angel.
Yes, you are.
What's going on over there, Damien?
Oh, what's that? What happened?
Why are you laughing? Why are you giggling?
Oh, no, I thought you had said you were an angel. That's all.
Yes, that's what I said. I popped a vessel.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
No, I've been watching The Last of Us, so I want to,
Oh, you got infected. All right.
I'm infected.
She's a clicker.
Yes.
I'm a clicker.
So, Daym, if you do a cartwheel,
yeah,
I'm gonna turn that into like a little GIF, and I'm gonna have the cartwheel when I do the edit. Just you doing a cartwheel like right across the screen for everyone to see, just right across.
And that's exactly why I would never do it on camera.
So how are you gonna?
We need proof.
Yeah.
I just won't record it. You'll see it.
Are we gonna take your word for it? Like,
no, you're gonna see
moon landing.
You're gonna see it.
Do me a
favor,
favor,
won't
though.
Be recorded.
When you do the cartwheel, I don't want your front facing us. I want your back facing us.
Whatever.
You agree, right, Patricia?
Yes, but I also think that you should be wearing like a leotard.
Oh, now that's not gonna fucking happen.
Just, I mean, if it's not going to be recorded, what do you care?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't own a leotard, so I mean,
I could get one for you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
though.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I have a request. Can you do a cartwheel with one hand?
Yeah, I might be pushing it.
Well, if you could, I like the other hand for you to be holding a plunger.
For what?
Why?
What was that?
Why?
Why?
That's such a bizarre request. Why?
Why would he be
What?
holding a plunger?
What request?
Why would he wait? Why would he be holding a plunger? What the fuck is going on?
I'm just trying to be fucking weird, man. Relax, guys.
Don't
Relax.
try. You don't need to try.
It's
I
episode
was gonna say
19.
you're already fucking weird, bro.
You
You don't
know,
need to try.
I am
ta-
not. I
you
am not
know,
weird. I'm
at this
I'm
moment-
unique.
you know, at this moment in time,
Tomato,
it
tomato.
takes. You know, at this moment in time, there's a lot that's confusing my brain.
Well, I don't know.
Patricia, I've known you for a long time, and your brain's always been confused.
What does that mean? People are gonna think that I'm weird.
I mean, they take it for what it is. I guess I don't know. I won't say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm not offended.
Okay. I've only been telling you to take medication for like 15 years.
And I don't listen to you.
You don't. None of your personalities.
Nope. We all good over here.
Guys, I have a bunch of new questions for the both of you.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the segment 20
questions.
questions. Yeah, 20 questions is what we're calling this. And some of the questions will be for both. Some might be for Daym or Patricia. Feel free to answer on any of them, either one of you. But some things you might not care about, so you might not care to answer. So I'll go over this. And I might jump in and give my own opinions. But this is really about my two favorite people here. My two favorite people on the podcast.
The only other two people on the podcast.
So we'll start off with a pretty easy one. Does a Karen have to be white?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. I would agree.
Why do I feel like I'm playing Family Feud? Like,
so Damien,
yep,
and Patricia, would you have sex in front of your parents
no,
for $500 million?
no.
No.
I love the way you both just immediately said no. How about just one parent?
No.
As soon as you said in front of your parents, whatever came after that was just a flat out no.
500 million.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I respect my parents too much.
Is there any amount of money?
Nah.
Awesome. Love it. Would you rather be a slave or a slave master?
Slave master.
Yeah.
Oh my
me too.
God.
Who would want to be a
man.
slave?
Yeah, who would choose to be a slave?
Well, wait a minute.
Morally speaking, I'm saying like a slave master is like bottom feeder as a human.
Time
I
out.
mean,
are we talking about cotton field slave and slave master? Or
yes,
okay.
we are talking about.
Well, I would want to be the slave master in any situation.
I was gonna say, like, what situation would you pick being a slave?
I mean, the question is vague enough to just
interpret. No, I would always want to be the slave master.
Yeah, no question.
All right. So then I guess the next question, I have to ask a follow-up question to this. So would you rather be white in the back in the day in the 20s, 30s and shit?
No.
Good answer.
Would I rather be white in the 1920s and 30s?
Yeah. Or black.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be black. I don't want to be a slave. But there weren't any
That
slaves like
wasn't
that
the
in the
question.
1920s.
That wasn't the
No. You know what? Change the time and I will answer accordingly to the times.
So in the 20s, you want to be white.
I mean, Dame.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you
Actually, in the
1920s?
1920s, let me answer. In the 1920s, I would want to be a white man. I would not even want to be a woman.
That's smart. All right. Okay, so to both of you, would you rather stay forever young but lose the ability to remember anything from the previous year and
No.
further back?
No, I'd rather continue with my life how it is right now.
All right. For $20 million, would you allow someone to surgically remove your pinky toes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. They're fucking useless, right? Like who gives a fuck about a pinky toe, right?
10 million per pinky toe. Take these motherfuckers.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Would you rather
clumsy anyway?
This is mostly for Damien, but Patricia, you can answer this. But it's mostly for Damien. So would you rather wake up looking like Joe Biden 10 years from now?
Oh, God.
Or have my full name tattooed on your ass?
Oof.
Yeah, answer that.
Julian, I see what you're doing here.
Biden 10 years from now?
10 years from now.
But am I that age?
Get the tattoo, bro. Get the tattoo.
No, you just look like him.
I just look like him.
Even if he's a corpse. Like, whatever the fuck he looks like 10 years from now.
You would not look like you. Get the tattoo.
And there's no other stipulations?
No, that's it. That's it. If you had a choice.
I get the tattoo because there's tattoo removals.
All right. No. No,
I asked you.
Fucking remove.
I asked you, was there any other stipulations? And you said no.
Oh, brother. I didn't know I had to write like a whole conditions, like a whole contract here, but hypothetical. So would you, either one of you, rather be a really, really stupid person or blind?
Blind.
Patricia, if you met a genie, what would be your 3 wishes?
What would be my 3 wishes?
Dame, question for you too. So whoever got the answer, just spit it out. Give me one. Give me one.
Oh, just one wish?
Just give me one.
Health for all of my family.
That's a good one.
I'm waiting for him.
Enough money to attain my goals, and lifelong marriage.
Very, very, very wholesome answers. I like it.
I would definitely would like health for everyone, me, my family, whatever. I would love to end world hunger, and I would like a cure for every single type of cancer.
Damn, you making me feel like shit.
Wow. Incredible. Incredible. We went from oh, that's nice to that was amazing, Patricia. Yeah.
I hear We Are the World playing in the background. What the fuck?
So would you accept the power of invisibility at random whenever you want? You can just be invisible. But you'd be really, really fucking disgusting. Like gross, you'd be ugly, you'd be just hideous, a hideous human being.
Or
no, not or. If somebody, if God came down and said, I'm going to give you the power to be invisible whenever you like, but whenever you're visible, you're like the ugliest thing walking the earth.
I don't want to be invisible. I want to be seen.
Dame?
Yeah, I'm with Patricia on that one. I mean, if that's the circumstances that comes with it, if that's the consequences that comes with it, then I'll remain seen.
All right. So one has to go. These next bunch of questions here. So that means history, they don't exist. All right. So J Lo or Kim K?
Kim K.
Who's Kim? Oh, Kim K. Kim
She has to
K.
go. Kim K
Oh, Kim
goes.
K.
Okay.
I'm like, who's
This
Kim K?
this is more for Damien than you. Grant Hill or Kawhi Leonard?
No, they are.
Kawhi Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard or Mike Tyson?
Oh.
Sugar Ray.
Wow. Okay. Both of you. The internet or deodorant?
Deodorant.
Wow. Wow, I
Just
wasn't
keep
expecting that
wiping.
one.
Deodorant.
Wow. Bunch of internet slaves here. Okay.
By the
No,
way-
there's too much business accessibility on the internet.
Wait 1 second.
I'll
By the
make my
way,
money.
I was watching something on Instagram, I think, and somebody was in some African country, and how their form of deodorant is they put like
Baking soda.
no, they put like I don't know how you say this in English. Pilon?
Yeah.
How do you
Mhm.
say that in English?
Like they mash it up with, just describe it right. They mash up
Okay,
like
whatever. So like
yeah.
they'll put like a herb or something in a clay, whatever, and then
Bowl.
they put fire, like a
Mhm.
bowl, and they put fire underneath, and then they put it underneath their arms, and that's like their form of deodorant.
Hmm.
So deodorant, because we need the
Alright.
internet.
One has to go. Donald Trump or R. Kelly?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
One has to go. Oprah Winfrey or Jay-Z?
Oh, Jay-Z. Although I feel that Jay-Z has done, I don't know. Oprah, Jay-Z. I don't care for.
I would say because, well, she's been a lot richer, a lot longer, and she has an extensive amount of philanthropy.
We don't need the definition. We don't need why. Just say them.
I want why,
no,
but
I
yeah,
need to
go ahead.
validate
okay.
my answer here. Because of all of the good she's done in the world thus far, not to say that he hasn't, she's just beyond what he's accomplished at this point. I would have to say Jay-Z.
Wow, surprised by that. Here's the typical one, right? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
One has to go.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Patricia.
I would say Rihanna.
What? Why?
Yeah,
what has
Rihanna.
Beyonce done?
A lot.
No, Rihanna has done more. She has Fenty Beauty, Fenty Savage, the music. No.
Right,
And
compelling.
actually, the only reason why I would pick, why I say this, not musically, it's because of Fenty Beauty. I love that product.
Making a case. Patricia, okay, so one has to go. Music, all of it, or orgasms?
Oh,
I don't need music. I'll sing to my own tunes.
No music. The
Huh.
concept, it doesn't exist. Whistling
Music.
and humming, it just doesn't exist. We don't have it.
Music.
I just act like I didn't hear the question.
I mean, that would defeat the purpose of this.
What's
whole
that?
thing.
I can't hear you. Say
You
what?
hear me?
Huh?
Music or orgasms, Damien?
I don't know.
Hey,
You said you wanted me to go a little harder.
those
So
15 seconds.
yo.
a harder question.
Take it
easy. And then Riley, he's gonna go. Orgasms have to stay. Julian just
Those
went harder.
15 seconds, 20 seconds are very
Come on, Dame.
important.
This is the lightning round. You can't do it, can you? You can't freaking do it. He's like, it's hard for me because I fuck to music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I need more time to analyze this one. We're gonna have to keep it moving.
You don't have to analyze it. Just say whichever.
That one needs to be thought
to
about.
be continued. So one has to go. Now, here's the choice. They're both horrible choices. So you just got to pick which one you'd rather live with. Constipation or diarrhea?
Constipation.
So you'd rather have diarrhea.
No, I would rather have constipation.
Okay, so diarrhea would have to go.
Yeah, diarrhea has to go.
I'm gonna have to agree.
So you'd rather have constipation than diarrhea.
Not really, but yeah, I guess.
Okay. Damien,
Did he get
Wu-Tang Clan or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan? Fuck out of here.
Wow. All right.
Listen, I'm not a Michael Jordan fan.
But you know what he means to basketball.
I'm a Knicks fan, and so therefore, it's fuck Michael Jordan.
All right. I wasn't expecting that.
Get it,
Patricia.
Yes.
This is for Patricia. Or it could be for Damien as well. Not really. Would you rather lose your curls? That's or have a beard?
And why did you say not really for me?
Wait, I would either lose my curls
that was
or...
I'm fucking with you on that one, Dame. Like, like
Because I
insinuating.
can't grow a beard.
Right,
my hair is
right.
curly.
Oh, so no, I don't want a beard. I'll lose my curls.
No. I mean, like, I'm saying it in a cute way, but you'd have to be fucking bald.
Yeah, I don't want a beard.
All right, awesome. Well,
I'll keep my
ladies and
curls,
gentlemen,
too.
that is 20 questions. Interesting answers. I had some surprises there.
Yeah. You thought I was going with Jordan over Wu-Tang?
No, I didn't think anything. I just thought it would be a hard choice.
Never, son. You see.
So if I said New York Knicks or Wu-Tang Clan, what would that be?
Who would have to go?
Yeah,
the Knicks.
Wow, it's really that serious. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you could have.
Couldn't tell, right?
I mean, if you. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Listen, I'm like, you know how people have Yankee, the logo tattooed on them and, all of that shit. Jordan symbol. I'm not that fan of anything, of anyone, right? I'm not.
I was going to say, please don't tell me you got Wu-Tang tattoos on your body.
No, I don't. But
you might end up with my name on your ass.
Here's how sick I am. Because I wouldn't put someone's logo on it, but I am that much of a Wu-Tang fan. I at one point considered getting a Wu-Tang tattoo in purple ink so that you can only see it, or in black ink. They have an ink you can only see under purple light.
That's dope.
Yeah. So
where would you put this tattoo?
Oh, my arm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking on your lower back.
I thought that you were going to think that he was going to put it on the tip.
What?
Nothing.
I missed that too. What?
Nothing.
All right. Well.
You were going to insinuate another body part.
Oh.
That'll be painful.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Are you talking about the sack or the shaft?
Whoa.
You remember TLC? Ooh, on the TLC tip.
I love TLC.
On the Wu-Tang tip.
Oh my gosh. Stop. You sound that sounds so like not with it. Ooh, on the TLC tip.
Patricia is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Say that again. She just did like a 90s hip hop mix.
Yeah. A mashup. So we don't normally do recaps. Some certain topics we revisit. So I guess we could call that let's call it the recap segment. we all know what happened in Palestine, Ohio. I don't know why I enjoy saying that.
East Palestine.
East
Palestine,
Palestine,
Ohio.
Norfolk Southern train crash, derailed, right? Spilled chemicals, shit's fucked up over there, right? The EPA ordered Norfolk Southern. I have a hard time saying that for some reason.
Norfolk, yeah.
Norfolk Southern to
words.
conduct all cleanup actions associated with the train derailment. So finally, somebody's putting some pressure on the company to do the right thing.
Like, clean up their fucking mess.
Yeah.
Right. More than just say, hey, we'll give you, 1.5 million and do it what you like. You remember, Julian, last week when we just happened to like be discussing how this town heavily voted, Republican for Trump in the last election.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned that typically Republicans do away with regulations that lead to things like this, and small government and all of that. And then I finished it off with, sometimes they say be careful with what you ask for because you just might get it. So it turns out that on August 3rd in 2017, Trump tweeted, "I am continuing to get rid of costly and unnecessary regulations. Much work left to do, but effect will be great. Business and jobs will grow." At this time in 2017, Trump rolled back an Obama-era regulation that required faster brakes on trains carrying highly flammable materials to reduce the risk of train derailment. He also ended regular safety audits of railroads and canceled a pending rule that required freight trains to have at least 2 crew members. They literally got what they asked for. That's wild.
Patricia, do you care to respond, or would you like me to go first?
You go first, because I'm literally speechless. I need to post that on my social media with a couple. My own.
All I'll say to that is, this is
karma.
Yeah, it's karma for sure, but this is a frequent thing. It's just some things aren't as obvious as this. That's pretty obvious, right? The way you broke it down, but we have all kind of regulations that Republicans roll back, all for the sake of,
saving money.
Yeah.
or companies making more money or being whatever. But it never turns out right. That's why these things are there to begin with.
Yeah.
Right, but they want to say it's a violation of freedom and all of this is ridiculous, but it doesn't surprise me because so many people agree with that, right? So many people are like, we don't need regulations, let businesses regulate themselves, and it just never works.
I would love to. You said that he tweeted this.
He tweeted that he was doing this in August 3rd,
I would love to read the comments of the people saying, "Yeah, do that. Yeah, we don't need that."
Yeah. And don't take me wrong, I don't wish this derailment on anyone, and it's horrible that it happened. The point is that there are consequences for our actions, like literally, like your vote literally brought this upon you, like directly. And it's crazy. It's unfortunate, very. But I just ironically was just having the same conversation with the kids' topics that they're covering, and they're both in, one's in high school, one's in junior high school. And one of them said that can't we just get rid of the governor? Like, if so many people have issues, can't we just get rid of them? And I'm like, no, these are the consequences for our actions, or our lack of actions. Yeah, this is what happened when not enough of us went out to vote, and more of them went out to vote. this is what happens. This is our consequences. The shit that we're dealing with right now. So we're getting it in Florida, just like they're getting it in East
And this is also what happens when you vote for a moron that is literally a moron, but you're just voting for this moron because he's from your party. You're not even thinking of the consequences or repercussions that what he's saying has.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, a lot of them, when he tweets that, they're like,
That's what I'm
no
saying.
regulations. Like they're loving it, but it's almost like, I don't know, like I feel like, I hate to say this, but sometimes the government does have to save us from ourselves. And it's not really the government. It's us governing who we put in the government and what regulations they put out. But if you're putting someone in there that wants it to be the Wild West, but that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the fucking Wild West, and
yeah,
that's what we have.
But you know what? It's wild too, because it's like they only pick and choose. Like it's only regulations that have to do with corporations, right? Like,
or women's bodies.
right. Like no one says, "Oh, I shouldn't have to wear a fucking seatbelt." No one says that.
Sure, people do.
I'm okay. I don't know those people. Or
I know one. My sister hates seatbelts. I've had so many arguments with her about it.
I mean,
she
I
won't
don't
wear
like
it.
them. No, I don't think people
She won't.
like
She won't.
seatbelts.
She doesn't wear them. Like she
I
refuses.
think there's a
sometimes.
big group of people that believe that seatbelts cause more harm than they do.
I've heard.
You know?
I've heard people say that. Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
died. People have died from wearing seatbelts. That is true.
You
But
know what people
far
would
more
say,
people die from not wearing them.
Yeah.
Right. To be slightly, but that's the whole point that you're saying, right? If you're going to be slightly uncomfortable,
Yeah.
to protect your life, it's worth it.
Vaccines. We got the vaccine too quick. Not enough people were the study wasn't big enough. So now you want more regulations on the studies of vaccines and shit like that. But they pick and choose when it's appropriate to have the government
Step
monitor
in.
things. Yeah.
And
Right.
or cry First Amendment and
Right. So the hypocrisy there. Yeah, we could regulate a woman's right to choose, but God forbid we're protecting the environment and citizens in a whole town. Like, yeah.
that's a great update.
Yeah.
Out of all the things that I've read, I didn't read that.
Well, your boy gets digging. Anyway.
He does?
Yeah. Patricia, he was not like, I mean, he wasn't this bad. He wasn't this bad when you were gone.
I was watching you guys.
Was I bad, Patricia? We got to address something.
There we go.
We have to address something here. So I'm gonna give you guys, our audience, a little bit behind the scenes.
Let me get comfortable.
Yeah, get comfortable. So I don't want to be called the prolific hater, because I'm not a hater. And Damien is putting this out into the world, and I don't care about the jokes. We could laugh about it or whatever. And I do have some haterade in me sometimes, no doubt about it. But I don't live by that. Like I don't look at people and want to see them fail. I don't look at success and shit on it. That's usually how I visualize a hater. So I'm telling this to Daym, and he got upset, and of course, he doesn't want to do the nicknames now. Like, notice in the beginning of the podcast, he didn't say he's a shower god. He didn't say any of that. He just skipped it. And part of it too is that I really want him to call me Talk of the Walk, and he won't. He wants to call me a hater, but I'm thinking, who's the hater? So that's the behind the scenes. I don't know if Damien or Patricia want to add to that, but that's my take on it.
I mean, yes, you answer first.
No, you go ahead.
I don't think anyone that knows you or anyone that watches the podcast think that you are a hateful person.
Daym, go ahead.
Oh.
You think people do, but go ahead. Finish, Patricia, please.
Wait, so from my perspective, I don't think anyone that watches the podcast or that knows you personally thinks that you are a hateful person. I think when he calls you the prolific hater, it just means that he feels that you go against the grain to everything that he says. Am I right?
Okay,
Pretty much.
so, but the hater thing, it does carry, nicknames and things that people are known for. What I don't want to be known for is a guy who I'm here just to create hot takes.
No,
Most
but
of my
I don't think people that watch the podcast think that.
no, I think some will. My ideas and my feelings about things are well thought out. I don't just come here
Yeah.
to just say, you know what, this is what Daym says. Let me disagree with him and let me come up with something so crazy. Let me pull it out of my ass and say something so fucking wild that people are gonna start to believe that. So that's why I'm kind of opposed to the nickname. So I don't know. Maybe we can do a poll on that. I don't know,
I
but
mean, I
Yeah,
think
but see, none of those things that you mentioned are the reasons why you're a hater.
okay. So please enlighten my haterism. Go ahead.
Like hip hop as a perfect example. You're a originalist, maybe a truist. You refuse to accept anything hip hop related outside of how it was when you were introduced to hip hop.
That is a total fabrication of what I believe.
Nothing is of equal quality. Nothing is any good.
That is not true.
Okay.
Let me clarify my belief. We're going to
Please.
sidetrack like a motherfucker over here. So, my belief in hip hop is it's a genre of music, it's a culture. And within that culture, there are certain things that you have to abide by to keep it true to its roots, right? So, for instance, if you are an MC, that is basically you're a poet, right? Right? It's
Sure.
basically what an MC is a poet, right? But you can't really be a poet if someone else is writing your lyrics. Someone else is writing your poems. You're not really a poet.
Okay.
So it's
What is
things like that where I
no,
want the
no, no, no,
culture to
no,
be
no, no,
respected.
no, no, no,
And
no, no,
that's
no.
where
No,
I
no,
won't
no,
deviate.
no, 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 no.
Oh,
I am not gonna let you do that.
he's gonna tell me that I
Yes.
don't believe that.
No, no. You're you're painting a picture that is inaccurate.
No, that's exactly it.
You and I have never had a disagreement about whether or not someone who doesn't write their own material is an artist or a real rapper
I
or
was
a
just
hip
using that as an example,
exactly.
Damien.
But because you use that example, you're painting the picture as if that is the scope of the disagreement, and that's not it.
What's the scope?
You won't even listen to like J. Cole, who anybody today
I
respects.
have listened to J. Cole.
Yeah, but you're like, he's all right.
He's
Like
all right. I'm a hater because I don't think he's the second coming of like
anybody who the majority of hip hop recognizes certain people as the top.
right. So because I don't put Lil Wayne on my top 10, I guess I'm
Little Wayne,
crazy, right?
we're not even talking with Little Wayne's not part of this conversation.
So by that logic,
he went with a specific. He said Little
Right,
Wayne.
right, right,
right.
right.
I
Right.
did
But
because
that's what he does
hold
because
on.
he wants to try and pinhole it to prove his point.
I did that because a Lil Wayne fan would accuse you of being the same thing as a hater. Because plenty of people got Lil Wayne in their top 10 as far as lyricists and rappers go. I don't, you don't, but because I don't accept Cole that way, then I'm the hater. But you don't accept Wayne that way. So are you a hater too?
No, because there's a consensus that is agreed upon.
Wayne is in the consensus.
No, he's not.
He damn sure is.
If a conversation comes up right now and we say who are the best lyricists in hip hop today,
I've heard people say
name
that
the
Lil
top
Wayne
three.
is the GOAT. I've heard people say that.
That's a different conversation.
All right. I don't know what we're talking about then.
You're not a hater, and I don't think he believes you are. Next topic.
All right, yeah, next one. I'm ready to move on.
Let's just cut that whole shit out.
No, really? You want to cut it out?
Yeah, for what? It
That was
dumb.
great, Daym.
It was dumb.
You just couldn't make your point right. You couldn't articulate it, and now it's sour grapes and no sour
I'm
grapes.
sparing you.
Sour grapes, man.
I'm sparing.
It's almost turning into wine. You like that, right? Bars, right?
Oh,
You like that shit, right? Almost turning into wine, bro. Yeah. Get comfy.
You done?
I'm done. I'm finished. I'm finished.
Okay.
I'm finished.
All right.
I love you, bro, though.
So the Chinese spy
You're my
balloon.
homie. Dame's my homie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know how the fuck you're gonna edit this.
I'm not. This is fucking awesome. This is a breakthrough moment in the podcast. You don't see
Really?
it that way, but it's historic, man.
All right.
We're giving the people real conversations that we have all the time. We just don't put them on the podcast.
I mean, all of our conversations that are on here are real conversations we
I'm
have all
saying,
the
but
time.
this wasn't a story we pre-planned.
No, this
it was organic.
Right. So, all right, we can move on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So you've been asking a lot of questions about the Chinese spy balloons. What is it? Is it real? Why haven't we fucking seen it? Classified, declassified. So finally, some photos are being released. Have you even seen them yet?
No.
See, you don't even
I mean, I wanted to see more of the objects, the unidentified objects. I mean, the balloon, I already kind of know what it fucking looks like. I mean, but tell me, like, is it anything special? Anything?
The thing was huge. It was like 25 stories tall.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's
It
wild.
was like the Michelin Man.
Wild. But yeah, they showed pictures, like selfie pictures the pilot was taking on flybys. And then there was pictures released of them removing it from the Atlantic. And yeah, there's pictures out there. Information's out there as far as what equipment was on there.
Yeah, Patricia, we haven't heard your take on this balloon mess. What do you think?
That is the stupidest non-story story. Like, I don't get how this balloon came all the way from China and nobody took it down until I got here.
Did you guys see that movie Nope?
Nope.
Well, the movie Nope is like a creature that's flying up in the sky that looks just like that balloon, just bigger. Well, not even bigger, probably about the same size. But
speaking of movies related to current event topics, did you guys know that last year a movie came out about it on Netflix about a train derailment in a small town? And in the movie, the small town was East Palestine, Ohio.
Shut up.
No.
Shut up.
Really?
Shut up.
Neither one of you heard about this?
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
What's the movie called?
Oh God, I didn't. I thought it was common knowledge. I didn't even think like. Are you guys serious? The movie is called White Noise.
Wait, that sounds
I've
familiar.
heard of that movie. Yeah, White Noise. And it really took place in that town?
It was last year. It was last year.
That's like The Simpsons, the way The Simpsons predict shit.
White Noise was shot almost entirely in Northeast Ohio, where several East Palestine residents worked as extras in the movie.
Was the movie based in East Palestine, or there were just residents that lived there that worked in the movie?
There's a scene in the movie where it shows, how like you drive into a town and it says like "Welcome to East Palestine." It shows that in the movie.
Wow, that's kind of trippy.
It's a comedy drama film.
Well, let's just hope the movie Don't Look Up doesn't come true. That shit didn't end well for us. We all died. Spoiler. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I never finished the movie.
Too bad. It was really, 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 really brilliant the way they came up with the concept, and so accurate to society today. It's scary how accurate it was.
That movie annoyed the fuck out of me.
Which movie?
It was supposed to.
Which movie was this?
Don't Look Up. It's basically
Oh, I watched that movie.
yeah, it's basically a critique on society today and how
Yeah.
ignorant we are. So yeah, but just done in like a parody kind of way.
I can't believe you guys didn't know about that movie. Like, I didn't even think to
I've heard the name before, but
Yeah.
I
I've heard the
didn't know
name, but
premise. Yeah,
actually, I've heard the name White Noise, but for some reason, I thought it was a scary movie.
It sounds like the title of a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
So the final of our recap segment is Trump, Trump, and Trump. Georgia grand jury recommends charges in the Trump case. Lawyers for the Proud Boys member are taking steps to subpoena Trump in the seditious conspiracy trial. And Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump are being subpoenaed in the January 6th investigation.
I love it.
It's it's not looking good for your boy.
I think every few months we get to the point where it's like, oh, this is going to be it for Trump. This is going to be it.
And then
but
something happens.
And then it just seems to fade away. Like, I feel like they're building, though, for sure. I do think that there's a good chance that he may end up serving some time.
You think so?
I do.
My mom really thinks so. Like, she really believes it's gonna happen.
I think at some point, like, there's so much evidence mounted against him on multiple fronts that if they don't, here's my thing: if they don't put him away, then our justice system looks like a joke. We're like, no, of course it already does, but it just, I don't know, like, how bad could it get?
I believe something will happen, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like we think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna do any time, for sure.
The most interesting of all of these subpoenas is the Proud Boys trying to subpoena him, because that's
well, they're trying to save their own ass too.
Well, no, they're already been found guilty.
Yeah, but
they're trying to. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, this is the most interesting. It's like they're trying to say, it's like you walk into a store with a group of your friends, right? And you everyone sticks something in their pocket and makes it out the door, but you get caught. and you're the one like, all right, guys, come out. He got us.
And they're like, us?
No, he got you. So that's like them trying to, like, hey, Trump, come. All right, they got us. Come tell what you wanted us to do.
I really would love to have like a private conversation with one of those people. Just be like, you're fucking stupid. Look at what happened to you. Look at you. Trump, because some of them really thought that Trump was gonna like have them pardoned, and like, he did nothing.
Well, I mean, he didn't win, so he wasn't in position.
No. But before he actually they what you call it? They thought he was gonna win. They thought he was gonna take over and pardon or whatever. Right. So yeah. But even prior to that, like, people who thought that Trump was gonna somehow save them from some of the shit that they've been doing, never happened.
I mean, people even thought that he was gonna come back after Biden was announced president. So
yeah, they thought it was gonna rise up.
What are we working?
Yeah.
Rise up. He's coming. He's gonna come for Easter. He's gonna rise to the occasion.
I see what you did there. Wow, that's pretty clever.
If Donald Trump dropped dead tomorrow, I'd be happy.
You'd
We're
have
not
an
supposed. We're not supposed to say that shit, right? Like, you're not supposed to say that. You're not.
Why?
I'm not
Why
wishing
not?
death,
There's
but
people that are horrible. So yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I
Good.
would.
Dame, you don't feel that way, right? You don't.
Ooh,
You don't
he's
agree with my
burning.
statement, right? Because he looks a little. He looks a little like Jew. That's a little too far.
Yeah, I'm not gonna revel in anyone's death. I would not be sad.
Okay. You wouldn't have a drink with your boy over it?
No, I wouldn't do that. I would not
No.
celebrate someone's death.
Why? We're
I would
all
be
gonna
like,
die.
meh.
We're all gonna die. Just some need to die a little sooner than others. That's it.
Yeah, but that's different. It's yeah,
I
I
would be
don't know.
like, how did he die? Was he in a car accident?
I wouldn't even care enough.
Did he?
Did
Honestly,
he have a?
Did he choke on a fucking donut? Like,
a chicken
I mean,
nugget.
I definitely
Yo,
listen. I wouldn't want him to die in his sleep. That's for sure. I'm just saying.
all right, Patricia, we're the same thing. I totally agree. I want
yeah,
him. I want him to like. I just want to see him like just choke on a fucking chicken wing. That's exactly it. Yeah.
a chicken nugget.
I want him to know he's choking to death.
He's a McDonald's addict.
When
Is he
Rush,
really?
yeah,
Oh.
when Rush Limbaugh died, oh, I was elated. Do you guys remember the shit I was posting on social media and stuff? Oh yeah, I was
No.
so happy. That guy caused so much havoc in this country and this world. That guy caused so many people pain with the way he influenced Republicans. I'm glad he's gone.
He deserved the death that he got.
Yeah.
But Trump gave him a fucking medal before he died. And that was all emotional. And all of them were crying and it was so sad. And
yeah, that man was a real piece of shit.
Yeah, he was.
So is this one.
And so is this one. But Daym, I get what you're saying. I was raised better than that, but I can't help myself. Like, whatever. Drop dead. I don't care.
Hey, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right?
An eye for an eye. I like that.
Yeah, so the result, you get what you get, but we don't have to celebrate.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah. Not sad, happy, same thing.
It's not.
Kind of okay. Be like, hey, how you doing? You seem like in a good spirits and everything. You'd be like,
I'm not sad.
I'm not sad. Right. There you go. I'm not sad.
I'm not sad. I'm gonna start saying that. We'll see what kind of response I get. How's it going? How you doing? I'm not sad.
Yeah. Okay.
Me too. We should do like a little
see if we can spread
study.
it. Yeah, see how long.
I mean, the reverse way doesn't sound crazy. Be like, what's wrong with you? You'd be like, I am not happy.
Listen to me. There's people out there that you ask them, hey, how are you? And they give you their sappy story. And I hate those people. I don't care. I'm just saying, hey, how are you? You are supposed to say, I'm good. You keep it moving. I hate the people that tell you, well, since you're asking. No, it's just a rhetorical question. Just nod.
Wow. And
just don't ask people how they're doing if you don't want to know.
And I'm the prolific hater here.
Just
I'm the prolific lover.
Just say hi. Don't say how you're doing.
But sometimes even if you say, hey, what's up? Oh, well,
you're asking for it.
So
let
me ask you, Patricia. So I'm not a small talk person. I don't like that shit, especially in the workplace, right? You see people and you got to do this stupid small talk.
Yeah.
Whether sports or whatever, I hate it. I'd rather have deep conversations with people. But with that said,
kind of like
when you have a friend,
television show thing.
Yeah, when you have a friend who reaches out to you and says, when you say, hey, how you doing? You don't want to hear their...
No, that's different.
Okay.
No. I didn't mean it like that. But if I'm walking by and I'm bumping into someone, hey, how's it going? I don't give a shit.
Some people are like that.
Don't
If I'm
ask.
bumping into you,
Yes.
if I'm bumping into you and in the street at Target and I say, hey, how's it going? Just say, oh, it's going good. Oh, okay,
No.
great. Me too. You don't have
No.
to give me you don't have to tell me about your nothing.
You don't have to ask. Just don't
Right.
ask.
Or maybe the question should be, hey, what do you think of this weather?
No, they're gonna tell you about the weather and the air quality and all the Chinese balloon. No, just say,
How
listen,
about
if you
Just say
about,
hi.
if you
how about
see
if you're in
me
Palestine,
and I
Ohio?
say, I no, I already read the news. Don't tell me. I know. Just say, hey, what's up? Oh, hey, nothing. How's it going? Oh, great. Keep it. Like I don't get it.
But what
Maybe
if
it's because
they're really not great?
Patricia, some people need to be heard.
You
there's a
just should
hotline for
you
that.
just shouldn't ask.
There's a hotline for that.
Just don't ask.
I know, but just you see someone, you're like, what's up?
That's it.
Hello.
Hey.
Do you get like that, like oh
Hey, good to see you.
no,
Keep it
like
moving.
sometimes I know what she's talking about, because there are times where like somebody will say something and you'll be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And then they start, and immediately, especially if you know that person and you know the way they are, you're just like, oh no.
I mean, usually if I see somebody, you're right. If I know these people and I have seen these people at the store and I literally run the other way because I just am not interested in your negativity. Some people are just always, there's people out there that they never say, I'm doing good. Ever. I know people like this.
I do.
Ever. They could win the lottery and they'd be like, oh my God, the line was so long, the numbers took so long. I can't.
I have to go all the way to Tallahassee.
To get my
right.
millions. How am I
Right.
gonna carry these millions? And I can't. I can't do with people
No,
like that.
you're
But
100% correct.
And it's
but
like, you know how
for
much tax they took out? Like, I just won $700 million and they took out so much. Or how much money you have left? Oh, like 600 million or 500. It's like,
no, but if with my friends and stuff, like if they call me or whatever, if sometimes I will see a friend of mine that I see that they're not acting their normal way, and I will say, hey, is something going on? And of course, I'll listen. Sometimes
right.
I space out. If the
You just
story's too long, I come right back.
you just don't want to deal with that acquaintance that needs to spill their guts.
And it's usually a family member. When I'm saying this, I'm thinking of specific family members.
I got a few in mind, but
Yeah.
I'll keep that quiet. Dame, do you ever feel that pressure?
I understand what she's saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, just don't ask if you don't want to deal with it.
We don't ever do that. We don't ever say, look, I don't want to hear your shit. What do we do? Oh,
Yeah, you're trapped.
that's terrible.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Keep your head up.
Start looking at your fucking watch. Like,
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what,
yeah.
there's a
I
hotline
just
for that.
Listen,
if
I'd love to catch up, but
gotta
Right.
go.
I got 5 minutes before my cat's litter is gonna
Or
explode.
do you this is a shitty thing to do, but I'm sure we've all done it at some point. Instead of just like empathizing, we actually bring up something worse.
Oh my God, no. That will make they will try to updo you.
I
No.
can't stand when people try to if I'm telling somebody like, oh yeah, I broke my ankle. Oh yeah, well, I busted my knee and broke my collarbone. And it's just, what I'm saying? Like somebody will try to like one up you, but we've all done that unintentionally at some point.
But there's people that will do it every single time. If you're telling a story, oh yeah, I have a friend that happened to them, or that happened to me, that happened to my cousin, that happened to my sister. It's like, just it's my time to speak.
Well, lessons learned. Patricia's she's keeping it real this episode.
He's back.
Keeping it real.
So if I ask you, hey, how are you guys doing? And then I go like this.
Good. Everything's great.
If I ask you, hey, how's everything going? And if you're having a problem and I'm listening intently, then I'm listening. If I go like this, like, I don't want to hear it.
Wow.
No,
I'm almost scared. I'm almost scared to even ever have that. If you say, "Hey, Jude, how's it going?" I'm just gonna be like, "Beautiful, everything's perfect."
And I'll be like, it's nice.
Just had a car
Me
accident
too.
and totaled my car, but everything's great.
Yeah.
Like a scar. Hey, what's going on here? Don't tell me.
Man, we all have our baggage, which kind of leads into the next topic that we have. It's kind of interesting. Did you guys know that each of the Winnie the Pooh characters represent a disorder?
Yes, I heard that
Where'd you hear that from?
a while back.
Oh, really?
Did you also know that there's a Winnie the Pooh horror film that just came
No.
out?
Just came out?
Just came out. Mm.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
No, have not heard
So
about.
because I guess Winnie the Pooh now is in public domain because it's existed for so long, they actually took and made a horror film out of it. It's not like,
With all of the characters?
I don't know, but it's a guy killing people in Winnie the Pooh thing. I don't know. I just saw the
I thought
trailer.
you meant like the cartoon into a horror
No,
film cartoon.
it's a movie. Yeah, like a horror movie. Yeah. But anyway, back to the personality things. I just thought that would add a little bit more depth into the conversation. So
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a Winnie the Pooh porno. Tigger is like jumping up and down, and a wonderful thing about Tigger. Tigger's a wonderful thing. They bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce.
Yeah,
I guess y'all don't watch Winnie the Pooh like I do. Okay, sorry.
not like that. And I have never seen Winnie the Pooh until we were going to talk about this. So I watched one episode, and it wasn't even the whole thing. I don't know. Kids watch this show. It's so stupid.
Well, it's the book first, isn't it? Like yeah. And
Why are you laughing?
I took my daughter to see Winnie the Pooh, like the movie, a couple of years ago when she was
Oh my
younger.
God,
Great memories. Great memories.
Listen, I cannot take this Winnie the Pooh voice. I cannot take his voice.
How about his crop top?
I'm not. I want to go into episode 20. I'm not even going to talk about the crop top. I'm just going to stick to the voice. The voice mixed with the crop top.
Daym, please continue. Please continue with the Winnie the Pooh personality. We just fucked up this whole segment for Daym, but Daym, please.
I don't even.
No, you're done with it. All right.
What are the personalities?
Yeah, help us out. I want. This is interesting.
So Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, right? It sounded like you said Witty the Pooh.
You said Winnie.
Okay, Winnie the Pooh. Okay.
Winnie the Pooh represents an eating disorder.
Huh.
That makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, right? His last name is Pooh.
Isn't Pooh like
That
shit?
is not.
I know. Fucking.
Oh my God.
So confused.
What the Jesus Christ.
Oh man. I'm sorry.
Listen, I have an idea. Damien, if you want to talk about this,
He can't hear you.
Oh, Damien,
What?
I have an idea. If you're gonna talk about the Winnie the Pooh character
I'm not
disorders,
talking about Winnie the Pooh anymore.
you have to talk about it
I'm sorry,
in the
Daym.
Winnie the Pooh voice.
No, I'm not doing that either.
No, better yet, you have to stand up and put your shirt up to like here. and for the thing of honey and
No. For real,
I
I'm
bounced around.
interested.
I did Tigger. You got to do Winnie.
No. I'm for real interested. What are these disorders?
Yes, I'm
Which one
sorry.
represents what?
I won't do this again. I'm sorry. I won't sidetrack it. Go ahead.
I know the donkey has to be depressed or medicated disorder, like
So
painkiller.
Winnie the Pooh represents an
Winnie the
eating
Pooh
disorder.
represents eating disorder. So, like in the cartoon, you'll see him binging on honey all the time, right? And so, we all hear these terms, but do we really know what it means? Like when we hear anxiety or these different disorders, I think a lot of us are just familiar with the terms and have our own ideas of what they mean, but not what's actually going on. So I thought it would be interesting to cover that related to a cartoon.
Yeah.
So what are the other character disorders?
Piglet represents an anxiety disorder. Tigger represents ADHD, obviously. Eeyore represents major depressive disorder. And the rabbit represents obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. And the owl represents narcissistic personality disorder. And Christopher Robins represents schizophrenia.
Oh.
Because he's talking to all these animals that really probably aren't talking back. He probably hears shit or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I guess we can go backwards. Schizophrenia influences the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It involves disordered thinking where ideas are not logically related, faulty perception and attention, lack of emotional expressiveness, and disturbance in movement or behavior.
So my question, was this, do you know, you might not know, was this intentional or is this just something that they noticed about the characters and somebody was just kind of saying it? Or was this the original intention of the writing?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Is the person even alive?
No.
I'd imagine that it was so long ago that this is probably just a newer thought or discovery.
Yeah, I don't think this was intentional. These some of these characters were based on dolls that a boy had.
Okay. Well, Winnie the Pooh eating disorder. I'm imagining he has all kind of stomach problems too.
I don't know. I don't know Winnie the Pooh that well.
If your last name is Pooh.
Yeah, where does the name come from? Did you research that?
Yeah, actually.
Pooh Bear.
No. Fuck. It was, I may be off on this a little bit. The boy, Christopher Robins, had a friend who it was either his friend's stuffed animal or his friend's pet, whose name was Winnie. And he was fond of that. I believe it was a pet. And so that's where the name came from. But he had a stuffed
But
bear.
what about the Pooh part of the name?
I think that was the pet's name.
Pooh.
Or maybe Pooh is short for something.
I think, God, I wasn't expecting you guys to ask this question, but I did read something about this, but I just didn't read. Can
you imagine if the guy who wrote this had like a speech impediment, like stuttering?
Nah, I don't think that was the case. Why are you saying that?
Because it'd probably be like Winnie the Pooh.
My dumbass asked the question too.
Maybe, listen, all serious, maybe Pooh is short for something and not poo poo.
It's related to the pet. It has nothing to do with bowel movements.
Winnie the Pooh movement.
Oh.
Oh,
Now that I think about
rare
it,
fucking form today.
isn't poo a funny fucking word? Say poo just by itself, Dean.
Who?
It's a funny word. See, you don't say it there's no comedic tone there. Like you said it like with the most serious poo.
Pooh.
Yeah.
How was I supposed to say it?
You have to be more you have to be more like
Child.
excitable.
Okay. Is that better?
A little bit. You broke up there a little bit, but yeah.
Damn.
Anyway, I think that's a wrap for Winnie the Pooh.
So the NBA All-Star Weekend came and went, and it could have just never came. It was pretty bad on all accounts. I think
not the dunk contest, but yeah,
even the dunk contest.
we got to talk about that. But yeah, go ahead.
I just think the whole it should never be in Utah. Like,
hey, isn't that a pretty big basketball town though? Like their fans over there are pretty hype, right?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the city.
Karl Malone.
Why? This Utah, the city's so nice.
Well,
I want to go there.
All right, we're not talking about vacationing and visiting.
Huh.
So All-Star Weekend is usually 3 days of all sorts of events. It's nightlife, it's street life, it's
family stuff, fun and games,
basketball events, is all kind of stuff going on. And yeah, just Utah.
Was it in Salt Lake City?
I believe.
Yes.
I thought it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's a huge nightlife in Salt Lake City.
So I think what Daym is saying is the rest of the country could give a shit about Utah, right? Like that's basically what you're saying. Like when you think of All-Star Game and stuff, most people think of like the big cities, right?
Right. Last year was in Orlando.
Yeah.
I went to the one in Vegas. That was a fucking time. Nobody went to the one in Utah. Like it was like
so
nobody wants to, especially this weather.
And then so one of the big problems is that they invited Karl Malone.
I was very surprised. I mean, it's almost like you can't be too surprised because I guess Stockton, like who else were they gonna have? But just with all that
would be another horrific choice.
Oh, really? I'm not even aware.
He's an anti-vaxxer, and he's he's.
But whatever. That's his personal belief. That's
no. But he got into some trouble because he was promoting like things that were like patently false. Like just So
they opted for a rapist over that.
His political, Well, if for those who don't know about the story of Karl Malone, basically, you got it there, Dan. You got the details of it there.
I mean, I don't have any notes, but when he was 20 years old in college,
impregnated.
He slept with a 13-year-old girl who got
pregnant.
Yeah.
She listen to the story, Patricia. So she got pregnant, and he denied it. There was a whole court thing, but his son is actually a football player, right? Professional football yeah.
So he was not involved in the raising of this child at all. Never met the child until he turned 17. And at that point they met, and he told the kid, like, you know what, at this point it's too late for me to be your father. You're just gonna have to figure it out yourself. And the kid went on to play in the NFL for 5 years. So he was still managed to be successful in his own right, but. Yeah.
So he was a convicted rapist, and he wasn't
convicted of anything.
But they knew about it, and they still let him play.
it didn't come
Yes,
out.
kind
It
of.
wasn't like because this is pre-social media and all of that. So maybe locally there might have been some rumblings, but
Hmm.
this wasn't
80s.
known. Say again?
It was in the 80s
Yeah.
with Carmelone, so yeah.
This
Okay.
wasn't known until like the end of his career or as he
Oh,
retired.
I understand. I understand.
We know, it wasn't a
So why
known thing.
invite him to Utah?
That's what we're talking about.
He
Well,
played
he
he
played
played
for that team.
he's
So
considered the best player to come out of Utah or in that organization of all time. He is one of the top
He
20
was a
players. Yeah.
great basketball player who just happens to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
But that's Carmelone. So that's just one aspect of the All-Star game where people were just like, what's happening? But there's more.
hmm.
The game itself.
right, it sucked.
So before we get into that, I just want to talk about this McClung thing. I got a couple of things here I want to go over. So the NBA All-Star game, the ratings are atrocious. I think you have the numbers there.
Not on this, but I think it was like the worst it's ever been.
There's reasons for that, for the decline of the All-Star game and the whole weekend. But how it works usually is they have the slam dunk contest and the 3-point contest on Saturday and then the actual big game on Sunday. A lot of people are upset that this McClung guy who came out of the G League, I think he's played 4 NBA games, didn't score any points. So he's mainly a G League player. He came out and he won the dunk contest. Incredible abilities. I loved every minute of it because you have this unknown guy who comes in there, and now he's got a shoe deal from what I'm understanding. He's about to make, and he's probably going to end up playing in the NBA. So great story for him, but a lot of people are upset because why? Some of our big famous stars in the league refuse to do the dunk contest. You got Edwards, John Morant, Zion. You got all these great athletic players that won't enter the slam dunk contest, and there's no incentive for them to do it anymore because the incentive nowadays is just about money. It's not about fan appreciation. It's not about any of that. But I was really happy with that.
Yeah, his dunks were. He had some dope dunks. I'm not, but the overall dunk contest sucked.
Yeah, I've seen worse years, but it wasn't
You've seen
compelling.
worse?
Absolutely. This has been way worse than that.
It must have been so bad I forgot about it because I don't I don't remember. I don't remember seeing worse than what the fuck was going on.
Do you remember last year's dunk contest?
No.
Can you even remember one person who entered it?
Last year?
Yeah. That's my point. It was pretty shit. And that happens most of the years now.
Yes.
I think this started
Obi Toppin. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Don't hate.
Here we go. No, I'm not hating. It was worse last year.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
No,
it was. Because this guy is a bona fide famous person now because of his dunking. There ain't nobody last year that changed the trajectory of their career.
But when I'm talking about the dunk contest, I'm talking about in totality, the competitiveness of it, the everyone being creative and being more competitive. This shit was not. It was him.
It wasn't competitive.
Was no one else.
It wasn't competitive because I'd argue that he'd beat probably anybody in the league right now.
I don't know about that.
Well, but I think this started with. I'm just gonna go over some things real quick. I really. So his
dunks were great though. I just want to on the record like that was.
So here's my problem with this. So first of all, we had a bunch of snubs for the NBA All-Star game. I'm going to throw out a few names that didn't play and were snubbed. Devin Booker, who was injured, but was available to be voted in and wasn't voted in, but he would have been injured anyway. I think he's coming back, or he just came back. But Devin Booker averages 27, 4, and 5. Right? 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. James Harden, averaging 21 points, 11 assists, 6.5 rebounds. Trae Young, 27 points, 9 assists, 2 rebounds. Anthony Edwards, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. De'Aaron Fox played, but he was a replacement, and so was Pascal Siakam. The point is that we had a lot of good players that didn't play. Zion injured, Steph Curry injured, Giannis actually was injured that game, Kevin Durant injured. So when you have an all-star game and you don't have all-stars, a lot of the all-stars, then that hurts you. Also, the lack of effort as far as playing defense is concerned. It's not competitive, whatever. Just like what you were saying with the dunk contest, right? If it's not competitive and it's just a layup line, there are going to be issues with it. And I'm going to say one more final thing. And I read this in the comments. A lot of the comments that I'm reading from people, and a lot of people blame the league and the media for, basically shoving LeBron James down everybody's throats. The whole captain thing. He's been a captain now for several years.
Can I just insert something?
It's just getting old.
I want to point out that you failed to mention Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. That was a fucking snub.
I just said I'm naming a few notable stars.
Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
Thank you.
But Randall played.
He was a substitute.
But
Jalen Brunson should have been in before Randall.
But I could argue that Devin Booker, James Harden, and Trae Young all are better players than Brunson and Randall. And they weren't in there.
24, 7, and 4.
Okay.
Point guard.
Just saying. Who's the biggest star?
I mean, it goes by position, so this is the conversation kind of gets skewed when you just start naming random people.
But I would agree. You have a lot of players that were snubbed. Not to shit on any of the ones that made it, right? Because, good for them. But I got some solutions to make the All-Star game better. Tell me what you think. It's similar to what I did the last time with the refereeing and stuff. So I do think that we should have a new voting system where it's just forget the positions, just the top 30 stars. So 15 for each conference.
Okay.
Because really, we play positionless basketball now. Like power forwards could be centers. Centers shoot threes. Like it's so interchangeable now. Like Ben Simmons is a 7-foot point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is LeBron James. So not quite 7 feet him, but so just the top 30 players. That's it. And it also would eliminate this whole idea that, LeBron James or Giannis or anybody would be the number one vote getter, because obviously if it's by position and your position don't have the same amount of competition as others, it kind of skews that whole captain thing. I also think that they should get rid of the celebrity game. And they should get rid of some of the celebrity, like they had, what's his name? Post Malone performing.
Yeah. I like the celebrity game, but I think they should get celebrities that actually play basketball.
Okay, that's a fair argument. But in replacement for that, I think they should do 1-on-1 NBA players in 2-on-2 competitions.
It's unlikely though.
I didn't say this isn't any form of reality. This is just what I would like to see. I think the dunk contest should match up pro dunkers versus NBA. That should be the highlight. Pro dunkers versus NBA. I think that'll give the NBA players incentive to want to join. Or if they're chicken shit, they won't. But that's, if you want to see the competition, professional dunkers versus the elite basketball gods, NBA players. And then I would also consider the All-Star game happening earlier in the year, like January instead of February. That way it's a little bit further removed from the playoffs, and maybe players would take more of a risk entering the dunk contest and trying a little bit harder during the All-Star game, because now they're kind of worried it's the second half of the season, injuries, stuff like that. So a little bit earlier, but I know that fucks with the NFL and the Super Bowl and all of that. But just saying, if it could be before the Super Bowl. Um, and then mandatory captain change every year if they're doing that, if not eliminated altogether and go back to East and West. Um, and I would have one last thing, a new event totally, other than the 1-versus-1. I would have a ball handling battle. So you give players a minute, 2 minutes to showcase their ball handling skills, however they want to do it, however creative they want to get to it, and have a prize for that. So Steph Curry versus Kyrie, Luka versus whoever, and see how that goes. And that will replace the skills challenge for actual skills.
I like the handles challenge.
I knew you would.
I like I like that, replacing the skills challenge, because the skills challenge is it's pretty stupid at this point. I used to like it, but it's gotten redundant.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea with the bringing in non-NBA players, because it's the NBA All-Star. It's not basketball All-Stars.
I understand it.
And
but we do have a celebrity game.
Yeah, that's true. But it's celebrities against celebrities. It's not celebrities against.
No, it's actually, I think it's celebrities, and then there's a WNBA player, and then there's a retired NBA player. I think that's like what they've been doing. Yeah.
But I don't see bringing people outside into the dunk contest. I think they need to find a way to incentivize these dunkers to play.
But how do they do that? These guys, they make so much money now. Think about it, right? Like, you're John Morant. It's just like, this is started with LeBron James, right? Because he refused to do it, and he's basically set the trend. You're one of these guys. You're saving your body for the regular season, right? There's also load managing in the NBA. That is a part of the NBA now, whether people like it or not. And then the money that they make, what do they win? 100,000 for the dunk contest?
I think maybe you reverse it. Instead of incentivizing, you penalize, right? Because this is really, your job is entertainment, right? And All-Star Weekend is it was based on the viewers' votes. This is who we want to see play, right? These are who we vote for, the top players. So if you get voted in as a dunker and you refuse, then there'd be some sort of reprimand.
I like that a lot, but they could always just say they're injured.
I mean, they would have to be injured. I mean, they can't fake it, right?
If they say they have a contusion, which essentially just means bruise, what do you argue that, right? I mean, Kawhi Leonard has been sitting out damn near, 3 years. Like, the load management, they have to fix that, the load management. I think your idea would work if they got a handle on the load management. But I'm saying all of this stuff, when they do that collective bargaining stuff, there's going to be a lockout. I'm predicting there's going to be a lockout. Kyrie Irving and everything that happened surrounding him, the contracts and everything, has put a bitter taste in fans' mouths. And I was reading those a lot in the comments. Everybody was either bitching about the load management, the poor attitude, the no appreciation for the fans. That's why the NBA seems to be somewhat on a decline, when at one point we thought that it was going to eventually be like the top sport. But it does seem like a lot of the fans are just tired of the bullshit. And I know the same thing with the NFL. Like, I've heard some people say, oh, the Pro Bowl isn't.
Oh, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. So it just seems like there's some issues with fans feeling like the lack of effort from these leagues and from some of the players. And
I just think
Yeah.
it's a change in times and mentality. You know, in the 90s, no one shied away from injuries. It was expected. It's a part of the sport. Now, an injury can shorten a career and can cost tens of millions of dollars
It's a
potentially.
business decision now.
It's a business, right? So
Right.
it's just a different mentality.
So should they scrap All-Star Weekend?
No,
No.
no. I just think, you know, when you sign an agreement to play in this league, you're providing entertainment, and the NBA All-Star Weekend, it's 3 days. It's part of it. And if you get voted in, you show the fuck up.
Do you think it's fixable? These issues? Or do you think it's just a cultural change that has to happen? Like, do you think like the NBA can impose certain rules and things to fix this? Or do you think it just has to be a cultural shift?
I'm a fan of Adam Silver. He seems to have a way with the players, and he tends to make some solid decisions. So I think he could probably come up with something that could make it better. You know, maybe not all at once, but I think it's fixable because I don't know what it was. This year was horrific. The last 2 years, I enjoyed the All-Star game.
Well, let me tell you, Steph Curry not playing this year because he was injured, it definitely hurt the ratings. Last year he had 16 threes and he set the whole damn, All-Star on
Yeah, he
fire.
had 50 points. Yeah.
He was exciting. Nobody's talking about Tatum, and he had 55.
It was a layup line. It was disgusting.
Right.
It just wasn't. It wasn't an impressive 55.
I would argue that Steph is the face of the league. They don't want him to be, but he is a face of the league. And the drop in viewership from last year, him not being there, it's indicative of that. I know correlation doesn't equal causation, but you can't ignore that. He wasn't there, and nobody cared.
There were a lot of players that weren't there that should have been there. Like,
you're right.
There were
Kevin
players
Durant. Kevin Durant.
Yeah, like, well, again, he's injured.
But I'm just saying, even injury, snub, whatever it is, not that they would ever snub KD or Steph, but you don't have those two guys in the All-Star game. What are we watching?
Yeah, it was bad. There were players in the All-Star game that I didn't know.
Right. And that happens every once in a while. And you're happy for those players, right?
There might be one or two.
Right.
But there was a starter I didn't know. I mean, granted, he plays for the Sacramento Kings, and I can't tell you, I never see them on TV. So I don't really know their players like that. But and
that's another issue.
They had the kid from Utah, which he probably was only there because he's from Utah.
That was clearly the reason. So anyway, that's the NBA. You had anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I don't think I like the picking teams. The East and the West. I like the thought of it, but in reality, the conferences tend to be lopsided. And so it's not fun. I like the picking the teams.
I like it, but I think I don't like the captains, the way they select the captains. I think
it was the highest two votes.
Yeah, but we've seen enough of that. We've seen enough of that with LeBron James. Like, it's skewed so that way he gets the top votes. He's the only small forward in contention. There is no competition. When you think about like
yeah, but how do you? I mean, it's LeBron James. It's like saying like
he wouldn't be the number one vote getter if, let's say, Kevin Durant played in his same position in the same conference. Now he does now. He's in Phoenix, but
I think
he wouldn't be.
I think No, I don't agree with
No,
that.
those votes would be split. So, for instance, Steph Curry. Steph Curry wasn't the number one vote getter because who's his competition in the point guard? He has John Morant and he has Luka Doncic. So you got those two heavyweight superstars also getting votes. You can only vote when you go to vote. You could only vote via position.
Okay,
So you
I
can
see
pick
what
your
you're saying.
starter and your reserve.
I see
So
what you're
what
saying.
happens? How many people are selecting Luka as their starter or Ja? Now LeBron, who's his competition? So it's skewed. That's why I say instead of doing it by position, we vote based on just whoever. So you can pick, vote for your top 30 in order and then just, whatever.
You don't think still LeBron would come up number one?
He'd be up, he'd be in the top 3 or 4. He would not be number one.
I don't know.
Well, his jersey isn't the number one selling jersey in the league. So that's usually the indicator of popularity.
I know Steph is number one, but who's number two?
Probably LeBron.
So he'd still be a captain.
No. But then if you're captain one year, don't allow them to be the captain next year.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, they definitely got some work to do. They got to figure out a way to get these guys to play, or maybe it just becomes maybe you shorten instead of 82 games, they play 80, and you make this one of the games.
Who gets the win?
Who gets the win? What do you mean?
You said it. They just make this one of the games. You talking about the All-Star game, right?
Yeah, in totality, like the amount of games they play in a season. So we're not adding to the labor of on their body.
I see. So make this one of the 82.
Right.
I think they're going to reduce the number of games. I think they're going to go down to like 70.
That would be a shame.
But I think that's what's going to happen. LeBron James already got the Kareem number. He don't need to stat pad anymore. And I think that's where the league was going. I think that's the direction they're going.
Patricia's about to pass out over there. We bored her to death. I came across this interesting statistic, which I found very hard to believe. So I started researching it. And I haven't found anything that disproves it. Only 30 to 50% of people have inner dialogue or inner monologue, meaning only 30 to 50% of the people talk to themselves, have a conversation with themselves in their head. I would have thought that was 100% of the people. Oh.
I don't believe that's true. We all have inner dialogues, and some of us have inner monologues.
They're the same thing. But no, 50 to 70% of us do not.
Just I find that very hard to believe. Everyone explain it to me like I'm two, because everyone talks in their head.
Everyone does not.
So when you say that, is it that if they're not saying words in their head, are they seeing pictures?
They don't hear a voice and converse and have dialogue.
Well, you don't have dialogue with yourself, really. You have a monologue because it's one person. A dialogue would be a conversation between you and someone else.
Sometimes I have a conversation with myself.
Yes,
right. I was just going to say, but when you're thinking, sometimes I think, and I'm talking to myself as if my conscience is somehow
someone
different.
else.
I'll play both sides of it, right?
The term is referred to both inner dialogue or inner monologue. Interchangeable.
Right. In that context.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you wouldn't
I,
typically out loud have a dialogue by yourself. Like
not out
that
loud.
would,
No, that's
that
why
would
it's
be a
inner.
monologue.
It's
Right,
inner.
right. So I'm just making sure technically we're speaking
So
correctly here.
when I first read this, I had the exact same response as Patricia. I was like, there's no way. Like, I would have just thought everyone talks to themselves. You've heard, you know. But no, there have been multiple studies, study after study after study, and about half of the population or more does not have inner monologues. They don't
I
talk
don't
to
know. I
themselves.
don't, just like Patricia, I don't believe that number is
It's hard.
correct.
It's very high.
It's hard to believe, but it it is what it is. It's hard to believe because I guess we all obviously have inner monologues, and you couldn't imagine not. You've been doing it your whole life.
I mean, even like we were just talking about basketball, right? You've done this thing. You're playing basketball and you're in your brain thinking about hitting that game-winning shot. You do the
Three,
countdown or the
two,
crossover.
one.
Yeah, that's somewhat of like a inner monologue in a way. When I'm planning my day, when I get up in the morning, I'm thinking
It's
about
just
shit. You
called
know?
thinking. It's just
Yeah.
called thinking.
It's not. I
So
know it's
so what is the thought then if you're not doing that?
all right. So all right, let's define it.
Is it
Let
from a
let's
third person point of view?
let's define it. Inner dialogue or inner monologue is a voice inside your head. It occurs brain
Doodoo.
mechanisms due to certain brain
Oh.
mechanisms that make you hear yourself talk without actually speaking. The little voice in your head is commonly referred to.
You know what my inner dialogue is telling me right now? That Patricia's background is off-putting.
Oh man.
That damn perspective is bothering me. You have those leaves in the
That's not
foreground, but
inner, that's
Patricia is
outer.
in front. Well, I was thinking that, but anyway, back to the subject. Sorry, sidetracking heavy today, but yeah, it's for me. It's hard to believe that it's that many people, and I don't understand how. So that means all your thoughts are deliberate. Not even. It's just like you get an impulse and you just do it. Like almost scratching an itch.
It doesn't mean no, it doesn't mean you don't think about what you're doing.
No, even if you have
You
an itch,
don't
you're
have
like,
a
oh, it's have
conversation
an
with
itch.
yourself about it.
Okay. You ever look
Oh,
at your
okay,
cat?
wait. Time out. I think I figured what you said. You mean like, for example, if this is what I'm seeing in my head, hey, are you going to school today? Or are you thinking of going to school? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to school. Is that what you mean?
That's
Yeah,
inner
that's
monologue,
it.
yes.
Right.
Oh, I don't have that. All you had to say was, do you ask yourself a question and do you answer yourself a question? I don't do that.
All right,
Well, it might not be a question.
let's take it a little step further. Your inner monologue can be your greatest supporter or your worst critic. It serves many different purposes, such as giving advice, helping with directions, rehearsing tough conversations,
Yes, I do that all the
and
time.
much more. Inner monologue allows you to speak words in your head as you rehearse for a play or a job interview.
I do it every day.
I don't
If
do
I
that
knew,
shit.
like for instance, if I have to write someone up, right? I'm going through it in my head.
Yeah.
2 minutes before I'm on that, even I'm going through it. What I'm going to say, how I'm going to respond. You don't do that, Patricia. You just wing it, like it's just like it
No.
comes
I
out.
do have an inner monologue when I'm getting ready to argue with my husband. I make the whole play, his
So you
possible
have it.
response. Oh yeah, but yeah,
Maybe you don't do it 100% of the time,
yeah.
but you have one. What he's
I
saying is
thought
that some people don't
I
have it at all.
at all.
Like never, never.
Never.
I thought he meant like people that go walking around talking to themselves. Like,
No, those are crazy people. But you know,
okay, those are the Christopher Robins.
Oh man.
You know, I sometimes like I look at my cat, right? And I'm like, or one of my cats, and I think, I wonder what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, does a cat, when they have to go eat something, do they think like, I have to go eat something? Or
I
is it
think
just
about,
so
yeah,
instinctive that it's just like it happens?
I think the same thing with babies. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the baby's thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
They
As
look
they're
like they're in
drooling.
thought, but they, for all we know, they're just like, we don't know, but I don't
How
know.
do babies go?
You guys are on a completely different subject.
Oh, sorry. Well, lead us back, man.
This is gonna be interesting. So, to take it a step further, some people think in words and some people think in pictures. Few people do both.
I do both.
I do both as well.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
If I tell you yesterday I went to the
Well,
park and I was walking along the lake, did you picture a park and a lake or did you picture the words?
No, I picture the picture. Okay, so I think in pictures.
Yeah.
Because
so
only weirdos would think in words.
well, not necessarily. If we're talking about a noun, right? Then you would clearly think of a picture. Well, in your scenario or mine. But if I said something like I don't know, you don't think of, there's no the to think of. So do you think of the word, the spelling?
Right.
Or you might not. You might not think about it at all, but
I'd just be waiting for you to finish your sentence. I'd be like, the
No,
what?
I see the word in my head. The.
right. So like Damien, like if I said gay, what do you think about? Do you get a picture or do you see the word?
I,
He
I
gets
get
a
a
picture.
picture.
He gets a picture.
Space.
Moving on. Dane, bro, you're not fun anymore, man. You used to always respond to this shit with me and Patricia. And lately you just shake your head and you're just like, mm-mm.
Because mommy and daddy are watching. Hi, mommy and
We
daddy.
can't get through a single segment of a topic, let alone a topic.
Dane, we're getting through it fine, man.
Oh no, we're not.
It's
No.
perfect. It's perfect. All right. So yeah, I do both. I do both.
I
But I
do,
think I
but
do pictures more frequent.
I'm definitely more of a picture thinker than words, but I do believe I do both.
Yeah, I think I do both too.
And I think it's so situational, right? Like if something horrible happens, you start, I know I just start going through my memory of like if I have a death in the family, right? I start going through my memory of everything with them. Dialogues, pictures, it's just jumbled everywhere. If something joyful is happening in my life and I'm hopeful and optimistic about something, then I'm kind of just picturing possibilities. So I really just, and I have that dialogue or whatever in my mind. So I don't know. I think it's situational as well.
Do you guys believe in left or right brain dominant?
No,
I do.
not for myself. Every time I do those little quizzes, I'm left-handed, right? But I
Oh,
do
you're
most of the stuff with my right hand. But they say, oh, left-handed people are so creative and artistic or whatever. I'm not that. I cannot draw to save my life.
But I said your left or right brain, not
Oh, yeah.
hand.
No, I know, but whatever. I don't know.
Uh, oh, apparently left brain dominant people tend to think more in words, where right brain people tend to think more in images.
So how do you know if you're left brain or right
when
brain?
I don't know if it has any direction, but I do think that there are some people who tend to be more mathematical thinking, you know, more analytic, and then other people more artistic. So I don't know if it has left or right brain things, but I do think that there are types of people. Yeah.
So the left brain is more verbal.
Sorry.
The left brain is more verbal, analytical, and orderly than the right brain. It's sometimes called the digital brain. It's better at things like reading, writing, and computation. So like bullet points, it's logic, it's sequencing, linear thinking, mathematics, facts, and thinking in words. Where the right brain is more visual and intuitive. People sometimes refer to it as the analog brain. It has more creative and less organized way of thinking.
That's me.
So it's imagination, holistic thinking, intuition, arts, rhythm, nonverbal cues, feelings, visualization, and daydreaming.
I would say I'm definitely more that than the other, but I have a little bit of both. I would say, Damien, you're more the other than. Would I be wrong? Is that how you see yourself? You're more.
Yeah, I think I'm probably would be more left brain.
Yeah.
But
that's a myth, right? Like the whole thing is a myth,
so
right?
So there is a counter theory where you really don't use one side of your brain more than the other. You use them both equally. So each one of those tasks that would be attributed to, say, the left brain is aided by smaller tasks from the right brain. So you use both sides equally is the opposing theory that I read.
All right. Well, that's really interesting stuff. I like conversations like that because I think we all think that we're so individual and different from one another, but we're a lot closer than we think we are.
Yeah. I think people who don't talk to themselves are fucking crazy though.
Weirdos.
What are you? You're just like an empty void, just walking around. Like just everything is instinct.
No, they think about what they're doing. They're just not walking around like mindless, just like reacting. They just
How do you think about what you're doing?
It's hard for you to understand because part of the process for you is having that conversation with yourself. They think about what they're doing, but they don't hear a voice. They're not talking to themselves about it.
So breathing, for instance, it's a subconscious thing, right? Breathing is you breathe, but you can also think about it and breathe. You have to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to deep breath. But normal day, I'm not thinking about breathing. It's just happening. You breathe. So I'm thinking those who don't think their way through it, I have that dialogue. Everything is just an instinctive move. Like,
no.
So what are they?
They're not thinking. They're just not talking to themselves about it.
But
they're not having the dialogue back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, when I go to get a drink, I don't be like, Julian, get a drink, and then I get a drink. Like, it doesn't happen that way, but not with everything. But with some things, it does.
And for them, it doesn't.
So that's what I'm saying. So everything is like instinct. Maybe not instinct, but it's like it.
No.
So what are they thinking then, Daym?
Their thoughts. They're just not hearing a voice.
You guys.
Okay. How about if you're deaf?
Music and movie recommendations. It's that time.
Daym, what you got, bro?
So you're probably wondering, like, below Wu-Tang, that's what Staten Island had.
Yeah.
Capadonna is dropping an album. It has dropped an album. Capadonna and Shaka Amazulu the Seventh, and have dropped an album called African Killer Bees. Ghostface was also supposed to drop, but he got pushed back to next month. And being that it's 2023, not the date, but this is the 30th year of Enter the 36 Chambers. And so for the rest of the year, every episode, I'm going to have a Wu-Tang song to recommend.
Oh, wow. I want to help you with that, bro.
Sure. So that was my idea.
It's a good one. It's a good idea. Any other recommendations? Well, speaking of Capadonna, he's very underrated, but I do feel like his catalog has been a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
But I think when he's passionate about what he's doing, he's definitely a force.
Yeah, he I don't know, it changes for me, but sometimes I have, as far as Wu-Tang members, sometimes I have him at 1. He fluctuates between like 1 and 3 with me. Like 1, 2, 3. Maybe he might slip to 4, but no less than that.
Wow, that's big. For me, he's more like in the 7, 8 region, maybe even further.
What? There's 9 of them. What are you talking about? 10 with him.
So I think my favorite MC, probably of the Wu, that changes for me. Sometimes it's the Jizza, sometimes it's Raekwon, sometimes it's Ghost, and sometimes it's Method Man. But all of them I have better than Capadonna. Then sometimes I really love the RZA. Sometimes I think You God has these gems that nobody ever talks about. Then you got Old Dirty. I don't know. Capadonna is somewhere.
Are you
after
serious,
those guys,
bro?
For me,
Like, listen, look, I love Wu-Tang. I love all of them, but we're not gonna act like You God is better than Capadonna on any day of the week.
no, he's not. But that's not what the question was, or the conversation was.
Or Old Dirty Bastard.
You know, take away Old Dirty's antics, and he earlier he had some shit, man. Like he just found a little niche to be kind of like an outstanding.
There's nobody whack in the Wu-Tang,
right?
So we could start there. But
you could prefer Capadonna. He's got classic verses, but is he better than? He
arguably has the best verse
of all of them.
And the only one I could think that might challenge it is Inspector Deck's verse in Triumph. I don't think anybody else is close.
I'm gonna disagree, but
do you know what verse of his I'm talking about, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. For those watching,
Winter Wars.
Yeah,
of course.
Capadonna's verses. Bananas. Matter of fact, that's the Wu-Tang song of the week.
Winter Wars. Check it out.
Winter Wars. WARZ. Winter Wars.
Yep. Capadonna.
What you got, Jules?
So that's it for you?
Yeah.
Well,
sorry. It seems to be the week of Lucy's. Like a lot of people are just dropping singles. A Boogie's got one out with Mariah the Scientist called Secrets, which is pretty cool. Jim Jones got one out called I Am. Lil Wayne has one out that was produced by Swiss, with a DMX sample on there. It's okay. It's the beat is interesting. Conway's got one out. Conway the Machine called Super Bowl. Just a lot. There's a lot of Lucy's out there this week, so go check those out.
So, well, I'll just throw some little hip hop related news that I just came on my radar. So, LL Cool J apparently has been working on a comeback album, and he dropped it. He scrapped it. His quote here, he says, "It's not worthy of being released," is what he said. And then he tweeted, "I'm really trying to figure this album out." Shaking my head, he wrote in a single deleted tweet. So he since deleted tweet, but he put, "I'm just not feeling this album. It's not worthy of being released. I tried." But after deleting it, he also put up a tweet afterwards that said that he's not dropping it. So apparently he's struggling with getting it to where he wants. Now, as someone who does music, the stakes for me isn't in like what LL Cool J is, right? Comeback album or whatever. He has to come out pretty hard.
He would have to have.
He has a high standard. Right.
I don't think much would be expected, but he would at least have to have like one song that rings off on the album.
What I like about that is that he's not willing to put out something that he thinks isn't worthy of him. That's, LL Cool J is not known for being the most humble guy. And he, that takes a lot to be able to come out and say that. So hopefully we get to hear it. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
So my movie recommendations, though. So on Netflix, there's a documentary called Volcano Rescue from Wakari. I think I'm saying that right. It's a volcano eruption that happened in Hawaii. And it's crazy. It's pretty horrifying. I'd
imagine so.
Yeah, because basically people were literally on the volcano when this happened. No, they were hiking. They were on the volcano. Now, this volcano most of it is underwater. So the top of it appears like an island. So people would take their, the boats over there, tour guides, and they would literally go in there. And because it was a tourist thing and because of whatever, they have a lot of footage of it. And they're telling the story as they're showing all this footage. And it's crazy, scary, and definitely worth a watch.
And what's it called again?
Volcano Rescue from Wakari. I think I'm saying it right. Spelled Whakaari. So
I'm gonna look into it, even though I would never step foot on a volcano.
See, it's something that I would do. I would definitely do that.
I wouldn't. I went to border of Syria, but I won't go on. No.
Yeah, like screwing with nature, like it's just something you don't want to do, right? You don't want to test that. In this particular volcano, I wouldn't, because it kind of erupts like every couple of years. So, if it's one that hasn't erupted in like 50 years, I might go.
Yeah, I made that mistake when I joined the military.
War every so often.
Yeah, we only have war every 20 years, and it's been 9 since the last war, so I should be good. It's so much for that.
Well, that's a different thing, but I feel what you're saying. So the second documentary I have here is called, it's part of a series that Netflix does. They have like a bunch of them, Crime Scene, and then they kind of like go into different ones. So this is Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. So what I would advise you do is go on YouTube and type up Cecil Hotel Vanishing and watch the video. You see this Asian woman standing by an elevator, acting really weird. It's the hotel footage or whatever. And she disappeared. And she looked like she was in distress. Something looked off, almost looked like a haunting or something. And
Don't need to watch it.
she disappeared. Just kind of vanished vanished in thin air. But there's more to the story than that. So yeah, check that one out. Crime scene.
Is that like a Scooby-Doo kind of deal? Like,
It's dark. It's dark. That hotel has a history. There's another documentary just based on that hotel of being like a place where like the worst people go. But yeah,
I don't like watching stuff like that. That gives me nightmares. Like I start dreaming that I'm in those places, and
really,
that's why I never could watch the Saw movies.
yeah,
that's weird to me.
She
That
thinks
that's
in
that's,
pictures.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I guess so.
And I dream in
I guess
pictures.
so. Well, I saw you shaking your head as I was describing it. So I take it you're not only interested in the doc, but you're not interested in seeing the YouTube video.
No, I really want to watch it, but then I won't be able to sleep.
So yeah, so those are the two recommendations for the week that I have. Both really interesting documentaries. So definitely check them out. But it is about that time. We're about to wrap up episode 19.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. Take it easy, buddy.
Wait a minute. Relax. I'm not cutting the segment off.
Oh,
Not
You wanted
yet.
to.
sounded like you were.
No. I was gonna go into. We have two more items to cover. Quote of the Daym, and of course, the both of you want to discuss. Now, I'll leave the floor to you. Go ahead, Daym, Patricia.
The Last of Us. This show. Okay, so by the time you guys are seeing this, episode 7 will have come out. We haven't seen 7 yet. We are on episode 6. What do you think?
Are you asking me or you're asking over here?
We're not talking to him.
I have something to say.
Oh, you're not watching it.
But I have more insight than you on this. So
I love this show. And I know my sister was talking about it. She's like, oh, watch it. But I wasn't really into the whole zombie apocalypse situation. But I don't even feel like I'm watching a zombie apocalypse show.
Yeah, it's not OD.
Yeah, like I watched The Walking Dead and I saw a couple of seasons and then I was just over the whole thing. But this story, it's so good. I love Ellie. I love the relationship between Ellie and Joe.
Yeah.
Joel, sorry. Ellie and Joel. I love this show so much.
What do you think about how episode 6 ended?
I don't want to say because I don't want to give anything out, but
Anybody watching the show they've seen episode 6.
I was
okay. Wait. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen episode 6, skip to the next segment.
No, I'm not gonna spoil. I was this close to Googling what happened.
No, don't do that.
I know my sister's like, don't do that. I'm like, I can't,
So what do you think? I have 2 possible scenarios, and I know Julian's dying, like he's drooling, dying to ruin it for us. But what do you think could happen next?
Well, according to the previews, I don't think we're gonna find out what happens in episode 6, because I think they're gonna go into the story of Ellie. So they probably won't show anything else.
Mean in episode 7?
In episode 7, I think they're gonna be talking about Ellie and not so much of what's happening with Ellie and Joe in the current time. I just don't want to give anything.
So I gotta jump in now. You know what this reminds me of? I'm a little frustrated with this. So, as a gamer, longtime gamer, I've been gaming since the beginning, right? I'm very passionate about video games. Really am. I'm passionate about a lot of things, but video games is definitely one of my passions. And it reminds me of coming from New York and the Bronx and loving hip hop. And then when Will Smith came out with Parents Just Don't Understand, and it blew up, and you got all these outside casual people saying, "Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. This is fantastic," right? That's how they would talk about it. And it frustrated me to no end because I'm like, wow, like you guys are just getting this and you think it's amazing. And sure, fine. It was what it was. Similar feeling I have here. Not the same scenario, but similar feeling. And the feeling is the game The Last of Us, huge hit selling game. Huge. One of the biggest games ever, part 1 and 2. Several years apart, the game. So they really had a chance to develop the story. I'm imagining everything you're seeing here is just basically Last of Us Part 1 in one season. But you guys as non-gamers, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the story. It's a good story, really good story. Characters are great. To see the relationship is great. You get that in the game. The game really gives it to you. Very cinematic. But you wouldn't give a fuck about it unless it was a TV show you guys were reviewing. And you lose the interaction in the game where you're playing the game and you're going through it and you're making those decisions.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong about what?
You have no idea what you're talking about because you haven't watched the show. As I'm watching it, someone who has
you got to tell me where I'm wrong.
I'm telling you. If you
all right.
As someone who has played these storyline games, I haven't played this one.
Which storyline game you played?
It doesn't matter.
Because I don't believe you.
I don't care.
You play Madden and or some sports
those
game,
are the games
and
that
you probably played Super Mario.
Play. Those are the games I prefer to play. Those aren't the only games I've ever played in my life.
Give me one.
I'm not going there. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As someone who has played a storyline game, when I'm watching this movie or the TV show, you can kind of see the points where like you would be controlling the story or where you would have to act in the game. They give you that in the TV show.
You know where I noticed?
No.
Wait, hold on.
No, when I say interaction, there's a difference between controlling something and watching something. So I am not wrong. They may try to give the audience something that resembles the game, but there's a clear difference of you controlling the characters on screen
I don't want to
as opposed to watching it. You don't have to want to do it. But the idea that it's the idea that you shouldn't acknowledge it is crazy to me.
I'm confused. What?
If you really enjoyed the show, is what I'm saying. If you really, really enjoyed the show, I try to send Daym like a video of the comparison, and he wouldn't even watch it because he's just so like fuck off with the show, with the game.
I told Julian, it had nothing to do with the video
just
or the content.
Appreciate the source. That's all I'm saying.
Fuck off to you is why I wasn't watching it, and your point you were trying to make.
That says more about you than anything.
Whatever, but don't use it. Don't use it to make a point that's false.
I didn't make a false point.
You just did.
How did I make a false point? I said that there's a difference between interaction and watching something.
Oh my God, that's a different point that you tried to make than just.
No, you interrupted my point.
All right, maybe you're not hearing yourself speak, but go ahead. Since I interrupted, finish your point.
No, I was talking about when you first interjected. I'm not talking about now.
I think anybody that's watching this podcast and it's still here, you need to watch this show. It's very good. And apparently you should play the game as well.
Why not? That's all I'm saying. Why not?
No one said not to.
You won't even watch it. It's absurd.
I just was showing
you a little clip. I was just trying to show you a little clip. Like, look how close. I was giving the show props because I was actually sort of impressed with how close the show was, even though I didn't like the actors that they chose.
I love the actors.
No, the actors are doing a fine job from the previews that I've seen and the reading. I just didn't feel like the actors actually really embodied what the actual characters look like and spoke like. That's it.
It's a great show.
When you see Ellie in the game, there's a huge character arc from where the game starts to where she ends up. And I don't know how far you guys are into the show or if she's starting to show an arc in her character, but she was very much like a punky little kid, young little like naive kid in the beginning of the game, and as the game progresses in the sequel, she becomes a lot more hardened. So yeah, but I'm just saying respect the original source material. I'm not saying that you have to run out and play the game.
Great.
But you non-gamers, you roll your eyes and fucking chin up in the air. Oh, games! I'm such of an adult. I'm an adult of the 90s, and I'm
Julian,
so cool.
Fuck the video game. We're talking about the TV show.
Continue.
I don't want to anymore.
Oh, look at this guy.
Jesus Christ.
You've been so much sour grapes lately.
Bro, you whining like a little girl over this fucking video game.
I'm
You're
just
thinking
talking...
people are anti-video game, that no one, the video game is not the topic. We know it's the original source.
It's part of the same thing. A lot of people watching the show, they don't even know it's based off of a game.
Okay, then you can make that point. But you go on and on about the video game and how no one could possibly have a clue as to what's going on or have the right view of the game without playing the video game.
But I never said that.
People can enjoy the show without watching enjoy the show without playing the game, and obviously people enjoy the game without watching the show. I've done my job for this podcast.
I think most people who are watching who played the game are in love with the show, because it is pretty dope, the world and the way they put everything together, and I'm glad that they're making a show worthy of the game.
I get what you're saying. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I'm a Harry Potter book fan. So I feel like people that never read the book never really got the details and of the movies, but the movies also didn't really do that much of a justice. But I guess I get what you're saying.
That's exactly it. Maybe that would have been a better example, for sure.
Like we would, think we would appreciate the show more if we would have played the game.
Right, the correct context, not the way Damien is framing it. Like, I'm just like, fuck all you motherfuckers. Like, it's not that at all. But it's true. If you read a novel and then you watch an adaptation of a film, even if the film is great, sometimes it's just that it's something missing there. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Patricia. She provides the balance. You all right, Capadonna?
Good.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's go with the quote of the week.
Yes, Daym. I tell you what. One more thing on The Last of Us. Right now, you both are on episode what? 6. So what would you rate the show so far? Like
10.
Like at a 1 to 10. You say it's a 10. It's a top show. What about you, Daym?
I would say an 8. My only complaint about it is I feel like they're rushing through some of it.
If you don't mind me asking, what's happening now in the story? Basic, without spoiling anything.
The episode's been out for a week already by this point, so everyone should have watched it that's watching the show. So I don't think we're spoiling it, but if we have, they should have already skipped to the next segment. They found his brother, went into the town,
living a good fucking life,
and then they left that camp and went to find the Fireflies that he was supposed to bring Ellie to, and they were already gone, left the university, and they get into
A base or a university. It looks like an old university.
yeah, they were in the university where the Fireflies were supposed to be, and no one was there. They were leaving, and then some like 3 or 4 guys roll up
Raiders.
on them and stab
Stab.
them,
Mm.
and that's where the
Drama's
episode.
pretty heavy.
That's where the episode ends. So I think Patricia, there's one or two things happen. Either he
He's not
lives
gonna
or
die. He's not gonna die.
you don't think he's gonna die.
No, he can't die. If he dies, I'm not watching.
If Joel dies, you're not watching. How about if Ellie dies?
And at this point, Ellie's in no harm.
Yeah, no.
Um,
I hate.
What did you guys
movies
think
and
of?
I hate movies and shows where the main characters die. I don't like it.
What did you guys think of? I'm imagining this happened in episode 1, unless they did like a flashback of Joel's daughter and that whole sequence with her,
that's where
with
it
them
starts.
escaping.
That's,
So it
Yeah.
did start there. So that's how the game starts. It's with the daughter, and you're literally carrying her. When everything starts going to shit.
that's actually the end of episode 1.
Episode 1.
Right.
So it starts off with learning. It introduces us to her, to Joel, his brother, and the neighbors, and this weird relationship they have with the neighbors. She's going to school every day. Joel's a contractor. He's going to work. His brother works with him whenever he's
So they
not
went
in
into more detail in the show
Just watch the show.
regarding I will, but not at the present time. Apparently they went into more detail about his background.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty
Just
good.
a little bit. Just
To give yeah, I mean obviously they got to translate it, to make it make more sense.
into why he's so hardened,
Right. And did he initially sort of kind of reject Ellie
Yes.
in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, that's next level writing for a fucking game. But that's just to show how far the games have come, is that now they're making shows, and every video game show or film mostly has been a disaster. Only now in just the last couple of years, some of them are pretty good. So like the Witcher show was mostly okay, but that's more based on the Witcher story than the game. And then you have the Sonic films, which again are silly, and now they got the Mario movie coming out. But now the Last of Us is probably going to set a new trend where we're going to see some of these great video game stories, these adaptations. I know they have a Halo one, which is so, but I'm glad you guys are liking it.
What about Jack Ryan?
What about him?
Isn't that from a video game?
I don't know. Jack Ryan.
Tom Clancy.
It's a Tom Clancy, yeah. But Jack Ryan, a game? I'm not too sure.
I thought that was from a game. I could be wrong. Tom Clancy makes video games, right?
Tom Clancy is a writer. He's a writer, and they've taken
they
his
took
adaptations of his books
and made video games from the books.
Games, right?
Gotcha.
So it's not. He's not a gamer or writer first. In fact, yeah, I don't think he has really anything to do with that. But they've made adaptations of his stuff.
That's what it
Splinter
was.
Cell and Rainbow Six and stuff like that.
Well, watch the show. It's really good.
So you don't think he's gonna die?
Come on, man. Let's do the thing of the week.
We got to talk about it.
No.
Well, I would
think
advise that you guys do not look at my face when you ask these questions, because I know the answers to this.
Like I told you,
What's the topic?
He's drooling to ruin it. All right,
What's
we'll
yes.
move on.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say that dies. No, I'm kidding. I'm just
Let's get the topic. The
I'm being an
quote.
ass. I'm just fucking with y'all.
Wait, before quote of the day, we got to pay some respects to Richard Belzer.
Yeah, Richard Belzer, comedian,
TV detective, John Munch, as most of us know him from Law and Order. Died at 78. A lot of people don't know that he was a stand-up comedian.
That's how I know him. I only know him as really like a stand-up comedian.
Because you
and
don't
like
watch
an
TV
actor.
shows. He's
Yeah.
been on a TV show for like 20 years.
Yeah. No, I know he has because Tanisha watches all that, but I know him as a stand-up comedian. In fact, I'll give you a little Easter egg or a little tidbit you might not know. So, you know, he's in a movie Scarface, right?
I mean, I can't even imagine what he would look like at that time, because I'm used to seeing him as an older person for a long time. Where in Scarface?
He's a comedian.
Oh yeah.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
he's
in
the shootout
himself
scene.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, and he was on Saturday Night Live for 5 years.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, from 75 to 80.
That's why. Yeah.
Before our time. So yeah, rest in peace, Richard Belzer. I like him.
Same.
Well, only leaves one thing to do.
Bye.
Peace.
No, that's not it.
Daym, what you got for us? Quote of the Daym. Let's do it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but remember when you wanted what you currently have. Hope that doesn't go over your head.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Actually, I need to post that in my Instagram because a lot of people benefit from that quote. Remember what you wanted, what you currently have.
Remember when you wanted what you currently have.
Well, I'll change it up.
Very good.
Like
so with that, guys, episode 19. We have
books.
We're about to hit 20.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm already looking forward to next week. Just to
I'm
be able to say episode 20. Yeah.
We are very happy to have you back, Patricia. Damien and I have been quarreling like two little bitches, and you've been a good officiator for that. Right, Daym?
Yeah, I hope we can get some consistency going here and
some smooth sailing. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All she could do is sigh. Just like,
like a mother.
That's all I could do. We'll see.
And like separate, play nicely.
No, it's all love. It's all
episode 19 in the books. Peace.
Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, just like Daym said in the beginning. We appreciate all the support. And yes, peace.
Bye.